T4 Esports series. Hello everyone and welcome to the Tillotson T4 Esports series, produced to you by alphalive. Welcome to this evening's racing, brought to you from Zuera in Spain. It's the 16th of June and it's round 4 of the championship. I'm your commentator for the evening, Anthony Jordan. There is my little Instagram handle there, so if you feel obliged, please make sure you head to that one and give me a follow as well, because it's always appreciated. Let's have a look at the track that we're racing on tonight. 1,699 metres in length, a very long circuit, 15 corners in total, 2 feet of elevation, meaning it is absolutely flat as a pancake out there, and established in 2007. And this track is known for its international racing class, its national racing, and of course it's just racing from all sorts. It's an absolutely fantastic circuit, and a circuit that we are very pleased to be racing at this evening, of course, on the kart sim platform on R Factor 2. Again, an amazing place to race at. Racing tonight, we've got, I believe, about 19 or so drivers. The weather itself, it's looking a bit nice as well. It's a bit broken clouds. It's 22 degrees. It's warm. It's mild. It's lovely for racing. I think perfect conditions for sim racing or real racing alone as well. But an absolutely fantastic set of weather conditions that we've got out there. Nice and crisp, like the weather that we've currently got here at Wilton Mill, where I am based at the moment. Absolutely lovely conditions. It's been beautifully hot all day. I believe we've got Mark French joining us, the man from Tillotson T4. He's going to join us. There he is. Mark, how are we this evening? Can you hear me, Mark? Are you there?
Hi, Anthony.
Oh, there we go. Hi, Mark. How are we this evening? Can he still hear me? Not too sure.
You seem to have a problem, Anthony. I don't hear.
I think the producer in our background is going to see if we can try and sort us out there. We'll try and get to talk with him. But Mark, you've been around with Tillotson for quite a while, of course. I can now hear myself back in my ears at a delay, which is like very, very off-putting. There we go. That's lovely. Thank you very much, Mr. Producer Man. But Mark, you've been around for the series for quite some time now. You've been, in and around the kart development side of things, being around there. I think you're out in Spain at the moment, is where you're based actually at the moment, I believe. But talk us a little bit more about the esports series and, of course, the Nations Cup, which all of these drivers are racing for.
I'm very sorry, guys, if you can hear me. I have no sound from Anthony.
Right, okay, so I think we've got a bit of an audio issue, so we'll come back to Mark then, hopefully, in a moment, where we'll see if we can try and get him sorted out in terms with audio. But a little bit more about tonight, of course, round 4, the Zuera circuit, 15 corners in total. Like we were saying, just under 1,700 metres in terms of track length. So again, a very long circuit here. 9 corners to the right, 6 corners to the left around this circuit. And of course, those 3 sector zones as well. An absolutely fantastic circuit. Incredibly fast around here as well. Zuera, not for its top speeds in terms of top speed at the end of a straight, but more of its speed that you can take around the corners. It is an incredibly fast circuit with open corners. I think track width is around 8 or 10 metres or so it's a very wide circuit as well, much wider than some UK tracks that you would see. But again, a circuit that, again, one is incredibly quick, very technical, and very harsh curbs as well. A curb and a corner that drivers are going to have to watch out for is that second to last corner. A very, very tricky corner. It's so easy to take too much of that inside curb and just get up on 2 wheels. You've got to overcorrect and then come back down. So it's a very, very technical part of the track. But, of course, with the championship, we're 4 rounds in. 2 rounds are left to go. Wackersdorf and Alahama, they're coming up in July and August this year. I believe we're going to have Mark French coming back in just a moment as well. Hopefully we've got the sound sorted. Mark, can you hear me?
Hi, Anthony. I can hear
Hello.
You this time. How are you?
Perfect. I'm very well, thank you. Mark, talk us a little bit about the esports and the Nations Cup, of course, because a lot of it is all going ahead for that one. Drivers are fighting this evening and for this series as well to win those entry tickets into the T4 Nations Cup, which I believe entries have just opened as well.
Correct. Yeah, I've been enjoying listening to your introduction tonight. It's been an interesting first 3 rounds for T4 Esports. This is my first time, obviously, coming on and having a chat, but I've been sitting in the back room and behind the scenes, helping the guys with the officialing and with everything else. So it's been interesting and it's been eye-opening. I suppose in the world of esports, I would probably describe myself as a bit of a newbie. So yeah, our series has been fun. I think we've had 80 drivers so far take part. Um, it's been, some of the racing has been very entertaining, and I think it's been a bit of a learning curve for us as well, because as you've described there with the different tracks, it creates some very different racing.
Yes, I think you're very well in saying that. It has been an absolutely roller coaster of racing, hasn't it? But we've been talking for all this time. I believe race 1 is about to get itself started, so I think we'll head to the grid and we'll get ready for our first heat of the day. There we go, better late than never, but Heat 1 is about to take to the circuit in just a moment's time. Great to talk to Mark French there from Tillotson T4. Great to have him along with us this evening as well. I'm sure we'll be chatting up with him a little bit later on as well. Here's a look then at the starting grid for Heat number 1. James Bell and Thomas Cucurulli-Yeomans will be starting on the front row. Spencer Trehorn and Stratton Hibbs on row number 2. Josh Powell-Freeman and Louis Barker will round out row number 3. So we're just going to bring up the new updated grid, because apparently that was the wrong one. So apologies for anyone of that one. And of course, we'll probably just called out a few drivers that aren't actually here this evening. So we'll try and update that one more as we go. Of course, I have got the live YouTube chat channel in the commentary box. Please do get your comments in on the alphalive YouTube channel. We'd love to hear from you. Let me know who you are supporting and who you are watching tonight. But while you do that, we have got the correct grid on there for Heat 1 at Zuera. George Townsend and Louis Barker will start on the front row from Ronnie Smith and Calai Atkins on row number 2. Stratton Hibbs and Josh Powell-Freeman will round out row number 3. Ty Cuthbert and Ian Williams on row number 4. Daniel Amore and Flynn McClumpher on row number 5. David Vishaw and Henry Foote will round out row number 6. Zane Khan and Dalton Hayward on row number 7. Theo Lestrange and Daniel Kelleher on row number 8. Alex O'Grady and Rory O'Shea will round out the top 18. The final row of the grid for the top 20 drivers, Nathan Maximim and Luke Woodward will round out on row number 10. Like we say, 20 drivers in Heat 1. And again, as we've seen for the start of races in previous rounds of the Esports Series, again, it can be a bit side by side-ish, but we'll see what happens in this one. Now, Zuera, like we say, a very, very wide circuit, so about 10 meters in terms of width here, so plenty of space to get 2x2, 3x3, 4 abreast. Whether or not they do that is another question, and whether or not they still make that work. Because again, the difficulty that you have in esports versus the real world is spatial awareness. Yes, you're in your living room or your bedroom or wherever you've got your racing sim, and of course you've either got single screen or triple screens or VR or anything that you could be using, but anything could happen. Timer starts to click down, 2 seconds to go, and we are off. Heat 1 is underway here for round 4 of the Tillotson T4 Esports Series. It's a good start from the front row. I say it's a good start from the front row. The second row actually had a much better start. George Townsend from the back row comes through, goes into second place. I believe Ronnie Smith now leads the way then as they go in towards turn number 2. Now turn 2, very fast entry point. Then it comes into turns 3. Now turn 4 comes into line. It's a tight hairpin, and there's already a huge load of contact there and several cuts off. Completely unable to tell who it was. The timing tower will update itself, and we'll find out who it actually was who went off the circuit. But Ronnie Smith still leads the way from George Townsend. Louis Barker still there in third place. Daniel Amore still there in fourth as well. More yellows out in sector 2. Of course, 10 minutes is the first heat, so not much time to get the overtakes in, so you've got to be very, very careful on the first half of this lap. Drivers will have to watch out all the way around the track, because like we say, it's a very, very fast circuit, so drivers are going to have to watch out for it. On board now with George Townsend, currently in P3. So Ronnie Smith has moved up into P1 from Daniel Amore, or Daniel Amore. as he corrected me earlier. But he prefers it calling him Amore because it means we can say Daniel Amore. That's Amore. There we go. Got it out. That's probably all we're going to do for tonight. But George struggling out there at the moment because he's gone down the order. We go on board with our race leader, who runs a little bit wide there. I believe that was out of turns number 3 as he goes through. Not quite sure what part of the circuit he's on at the moment. About midway around the lap. Okay, so he's going around, about turn number 4. So that was a bit wide out of turn 4 he'd gone. But there we go. 8 minutes to go on this one, and Smith leading well. Let's have a look at the order all the way through the field then. So Ronnie Smith leads from Amore, then it's Barker, Townsend in 4th place from Khan, McClumpher, O'Shea and O'Grady, the top 8. The Stranger's just put himself into P9. Nathan Maximum rounding out the top 10. Back here with George Townsend at the moment, who is looking like struggling at the moment because he's got Flynn McClumpher all over the back. As all 3 of these drivers, Zane Khan, George Townsend and Flynn McClumpher, all running the pink livery kart out there, which is not confusing in any way, shape or form. There is enough livery colours out there to all drivers choose a different one, but fortunately they're not doing so for us tonight. They like that colour, and who can blame them? It's a fabulous colour. But a great little battle here for the mid-pack sort of section. Bit of scrapping going on in the background there as well. 3 karts absolutely line astern. I believe that could be Nathan Maximum, Daniel Kelleher, David Vishaw, possibly around 10th, 11th and 12th that are scrapping. Back here at the front though, because action here, because Daniel Amore is side by side with Ronnie Smith for the race lead. Smith holds on to it for the time being though. Coming round now, this about midway through sector 2 for the time being. The right-hander will be next. Nice long straight here as we go into the very fast right-hand section where you've got about 3 apexes. There's the first one, into the second one, and then out wide, and then bring it back round for the next one, and then coming round into the second to last corner. This is the penultimate corner. You've got to watch that curb on the inside, exiting out onto a flat-out final right-hand corner, back onto the main straight. You get all that momentum. You'll tuck into the slipstream. Are we going to see Daniel Amore pull out and go for a move in towards turn number 1? No, stays behind it. Again, turn 1, not a corner you really want to overtake on. It's a very fast corner. Turn 2, however, is a corner you can overtake on, and here comes Amore down the inside, times it perfectly, and gets that race lead. Ronnie Smith not fighting it whatsoever, and look at the lead Amore's got already. Really opened that up now. He is back down at 7th place. This is Alex O'Grady. Got Rory O'Shea just in front. Again, they're having a nice little scrap at the moment, and again, just watching their racing lines, again taking the nice wide entry, bringing it back in. You have to avoid these curbs around the Zuera circuit. They are very harsh on the esports side of it as well. We go on board now with Zane Khan in 3rd place as Ronnie Smith goes slightly wide there. So Smith really pushing that kart to its maximum here to try and close up to Daniel Amore, but Daniel's gone. He is out of it. He's already got a 1.2 second advantage already over Smith, and I think Khan is actually closing in Smith. So Smith with the early advantage. Looking at sector times, Khan was faster than Smith in sector 1, and Zane Khan, I have to say, with the fastest lap of the race as well, 1:14.8. Here's a good little scrap. This is 6th, 7th and 8th having a good one. This is O'Grady, O'Shea and Louis Barker. Rory O'Shea now with the fastest lap of the race, 1:13.8. A couple of drivers into the 13.8, so O'Shea and O'Grady with pretty similar lap times, I have to say. Personal best coming in left, right and centre as well. With less than half race distance to go, 4.5 minutes. We still watch this battle for P6 at the moment. O'Grady holding off Louis Barker, and O'Shea there on the back of McClumpher, also wanting to go for a move as well. So this is around the closest battle that we have out on circuit for the time being. Looks like we've already had a retirement from the race. Luke Woodward from 19th has retired with the DNF. Stratton Hibb still running in 18th place from Dalton Hayward in 17th. Ty Cuthbert 16th place at the moment from Henry Foots 15th. Josh Palfreyman in 14th. Ian Williams in 13th place. David Vishaw holding on to 12th. Daniel Kelly not showing his true potential in the esports. Daniel's, usually see him at the sharp end of the stick in this one, but struggling around the Zuera circuits. He's currently in P11. George Townsend holding on to the top 10 as we see here Zane Khan right on the rear bumper of Ronnie Smith for second place, and just gently pushing Ronnie along, giving him a helping hand, giving him plenty of advantage to go through. And again, running a little bit wide there out of the turn 4 hairpin. Just staying right behind now, looking to the inside, gets his nose cut off there. Khan not managing to get that move done. Again, slotting back in, all while these two will be scrapping. They will be slowing each other down. The two behind are starting to close in, O'Shea and McClumpher. And they're bringing along O'Grady as well. So this is becoming a very, very fierce battle for second place. And again, down the inside here goes Zane Khan, gets that move done. Now, Ronnie Smith really left the door open there. Zane Khan taking full advantage of that. And now, looking like O'Shea wants to make the move now. Again, probably won't see it down the main straight, even though we do go slightly defensive in towards turn 1. Now, that is a bold move because you're going to scrub all your speed. And now, look how closed up they've all become. All because of that slight movement off the racing line. You can just see how much that slowed Zane Khan down as they went through it. Again, tucking in now into the hairpin. A couple running a little bit wide there. McClumpher now up into P4. O'Grady's gone down and a little bit wide there as well. Khan now with a bit of fresh air after that one as the drivers O'Grady, O'Shea, McClumpher and Louis Barker all scrapping with each other. Yellow's in sector 1. It clears quickly, so it will have just been a spin as they go through that. Zane Khan looking much more comfortable now. He doesn't have to defend as much now. Drivers do have the options of being able to look behind them in the sim, in the platform, so there is no issue there. They can probably see that he's got a nice comfortable gap now, a nice battle buffer, but he's not battling with anyone. He just wants to break away. A P2 will be a nice result for Zane Khan in this one. Well, meanwhile, Daniel, he's gone, he's disappeared. He's still clear up the road. Gap now 2.1 seconds crossing the line now. 1 minute to go. So I believe the checker flag will be out this time. So as they go through again, Khan going defensive. Smith to the outside. O'Grady back down the inside. Gets it done. So Alex O'Grady now looking to get the move done on Khan as well. Khan defends the inside hairpin, but does get a little bit of contact there and runs a little bit wide. It's now side by side for second place. O'Grady on the outside. Khan still got the inside. Keep an eye out on Smith and O'Shea as well, because they're wanting to get involved in this one as the gantry gets in the way and one of the carts going off the track there. I believe that was Ronnie Smith going a little bit wide. Comes back onto the circuit now, and again, halfway around this lap, Khan has the advantage and the clear air. I'm sure he'll appreciate that one. So O'Shea now in third place. He leads the trio of karts that are behind second place. McClumpher, nothing to do to follow, but the timer strikes to 0 now, and Daniel Amor will come to the start-finish line, and he will take the first heat win, and he'll be happy with that one, and a little bit of a weave across the line as well, with Zane Khan as well taking second place. Rory O'Shea, good result for Rory, finishing P3 in that one. McClumpher as well finishing P4 from Ronnie Smith. Louis Barker finishing in 6th place from Maximum. In 7th, O'Grady will take 8th from Vishaw, and Kelleher rounding out the top 10. Well, I have to say, probably the tamest heat race we've ever seen in this championship. I think well done. The drivers' briefing this afternoon did the job. I think Luke Austin from alphalive doing a fabulous job in making sure these drivers are behaving themselves out on circuit, because I think they've got a bit of a telling off after the last round. If you did tune in for the last round, you can watch that on the alphalive YouTube channel. You just need to go back and find it. Don't watch it just yet, because you're watching live racing tonight. So, well, a fantastic result. I'm going to quickly write down said results on my piece of paper so I don't forget them, because I am a forgetful person, ladies and gentlemen. It is known that I have forgotten many names. So Daniel Amor will take the race win. Zane Khan took second, and Rory O'Shea finishes in third place. Fantastic. Well, of course, while the drivers get themselves sorted out and ready for heat number 2 in just a moment's time, they'll have to kind of jump out of the server, jump back in type of deal, get themselves all in an order, and then we'll come back to that one. We'll take a short ad break, and we'll be back in just a moment's time.
We can't manufacture your victory or distill your determination. We harness powerful natural resources to unlock true human potential.
So, heat number 2 is upon us in just a moment's time. Heat 1 just happened, and a little bit of a recap on heat number 1. Of course, Daniel Moore taking the race win, and that one from Zane Khan and Rory O'Shea. But again, a fabulous battle that we saw for that second place spot, and Zane Khan taking it to the line. He just got there in the end. And of course, you have to remember the start of that race. What happened at that start? A huge incident in the middle of the track around the end part of Sector 1 saw nearly half the grid come off the circuit. So again, very common in real-world karting as well, incidents like that happening. Again, drivers easily getting squeezed when you're 3-4 karts abreast on the first lap. So it is easily doable, but you know, drivers are going to have to watch out for that one coming into heat number 2, because of course these will be their qualifying points that they're earning right now of where they're going to start for the final later on tonight after heat number 2, and the final a little bit longer than the heats as well, so a little bit more time that the drivers will have to concentrate for. Now, of course, what are these drivers racing for? They're racing for the tickets, of course, to the T4 Nations Cup in 2022 that will be taking part at Valencia this year in Spain, the same country that we're currently racing at right now, Zuera. And again, what our drivers going to be winning? Well, there's the different classes as well, the categories that are new for this year as well. You've got about 5 of them. You've got the T4 mini class, the 8 to 12-year-olds going to be racing. You've got the T4 juniors, the 12 to 16-year-olds racing. T4 seniors, 15 years and plus. the T4 Senior 165 and Masters class, that's 15 years and above as well, and the T4 Rental Team Endurance event. And again, that's a brand new concept for this year as well, and you can find out more about that at the Tillotson website. Just head over there and you'll see all the information that you need to know. Of course, now with the esports series, it's been going on for a few months now. We're on round 4. 3 rounds have already happened. Drivers already have their top 3 rounds done. I believe Mark is back with us. Mark, join us in the virtual commentary box. Which side will you be on? I think you'll be on that side of me when you pop up on the screen. Yes, you are, Mark. Again, Mark. Well, let's talk about Heat 1. What did you think for that one? From my point of view, that looked like probably one of the more tamer races that we've seen in the esports series so far.
Yeah, I think so. Glad to be back, Anthony. The race, I always appreciate watching sports, how comparable it is to some of the racing in the T4 series real world. Obviously, maybe not as much crashing, but some of the passing and the close racing, it's just with the material, with everything so similar in speed, it creates a lot of very good strategic racing. So yeah, I enjoyed that race. I think Zuera is probably one of the better tracks that we've seen, or there didn't seem to be as many penalties as we've had in some of the other tracks, and it was a good heat.
Yeah, excellent one. And I have got the little Discord chat up kind of in front of me on my big screen. I could just see constant messages coming in saying, no, that was your fault. No, that was your fault. But then race control and admins are straight on it going, no, here's what happened. So race control have got angles of every single incident. They can see telemetry from the drivers. They can see when they hit the brakes, when they hit the accelerator, how much steering input they did. So it's absolutely fantastic. So essentially, you can't get away with anything out there. Race control will spot it if you do it. So, yeah, there's no hiding anything. But like we were talking about just before you joined us there, Mark, the T4 Nations Cup will be starting again at the end of, is it the end of October, end of September, beginning of October, is it?
The end of September, yeah. It's a very exciting time for us and a very exciting day, because we opened our entry for T4 Nations Cup 2022 today. We've already received a few entries from Brazil, South America, Australia. So it's exciting, and it's our first year to take the T4 Nations Cup from Ireland to Europe, outside of Ireland. So it's a bit of a challenge for us, and there's a lot of work went in the background over the last 6 months. We hope to welcome 100 plus drivers to the event, which is the 29th of September until the 2nd of October.
Yeah, and of course you've got the new classes that are joining us this year. Tell us a little bit more about those.
Yeah, well, we launched T4 Mini and T4 Junior, as you mentioned, the ages Mini 8 to 12 and Junior 12 to 16. We've always had a T4 Senior category, and this year at the Nations Cup we'll have a T4 Senior 165, which it's the same basically as our senior category, just runs to a slightly heavier weight. We also incorporate the Masters class for over 30-year-old drivers into this category, and we expect a full grade.
Well, absolutely fantastic. I'm very much looking forward to when that comes out. And, of course, I'm sure I'll keep a close eye on the racing. But more racing is coming up, because Heat 2, ladies and gentlemen, is about to hit your screen. Stay tuned. Yes, indeed. Heat number 2 is upon us, ladies and gents. Hopefully drivers will have learned from their small errors in heat number 1 that may have caused that huge incident. So grids are currently being sorted at the moment, and we'll get the starting grid on the screen in just a moment's time. Now, again, remember, ladies and gentlemen, this is a long, fast circuit. Drivers are going to have to be so careful with where they position the car, because, again, you saw that Zane Carnwell defending his second place position through turn number 1. You saw him go off the racing line, hold a tighter entry into the corner, and you saw how much speed he lost on the exit. Meant everyone really closed in the back, so you've got to really watch out with your racing position. Let's have a look at the starting grid, though, for heat number 2. George Townsend and Louis Barker will start on the front row. Ronnie Smith and Calai Atkins on row 2. But I think we'll just bring that one back up, because I think that one is the wrong grid. So they're working on it at the moment. But yes, again, I believe the grid, I think, usually works out as a reverse grid. So if the driver started at the back in the first heat, they're usually starting at the front for the second heat. So that's essentially what the grid order will be. Think of race 1. but it's reversed for race number 2. Racing's about to get underway then around this 1700 meter circuit. Remember, 15 corners in total, 9 to the right, 6 to the left. And these drivers will have to negotiate them. We saw times down in the 1:13s in heat number 1. Again, very quick and respectable times in these Tillotson T4 karts. Of course, 4-stroke karts replicated on the Kart Sim platform on R Factor 2. Again, you two can still enter into the championship. We only take the top 3 scoring rounds. You have run out of time slightly to get enough points to potentially win the championship, but you can still join in, still race. It is still a fun place to be as drivers are lined up on the starting grid for heat number 2. A couple of empty grid spots there. Drivers will be getting themselves in order, in position, ready to get heat number 2 underway. Now, again, we saw that incident happen roughly at the end of Sector 1 as they were going around turns 3. Hopefully this time around they've sorted that out. They've had their squabbles and they'll get them all sorted out. I'm looking at some of the comments that are coming in on the YouTube channel. Kai Newman Racing, can I enter a race? You can indeed enter a race. Like you say, head to the Tillotson T4 Esports website and you can enter via the website. You'll have run out of time for winning the championship, but you can still join in the races. James Greer, bring back Wayne R10, to which I learned tonight is actually Hardware Matty, apparently, in my ears, according to my sources. They could be wrong. Lights out. We're off and racing. Heat number 2 for the Tillotson T4 Esports Series is now underway. Much better start from the front row this time around. They break away. Luke Woodward and Nathan Maximim now clearing away round the circuit. There's David Vishaw at, the Louis Barker, I should say, at the back of the grid. He's going to have to be careful here. You probably want to just sit back, let everyone go through the corners, see what happens, and just snake your way through as they exit out of turn number 1. And again, a little bit cleaner, because that's where we had the huge incident last time around, and a couple of cars side podding there, and one car facing the wrong way. That is Stratton hit Louis. He's Louis Barker, actually, that's gone around. The timing tower updating furiously for me, but it is Louis Barker now all the way at the back of the grid and has got a lot of work to do ahead. Back with the race leaders, though, as they go through. 10 minutes on that timer, of course, for heat 1. Confirmation it is Louis Barker at the back of the grid there. Back at the front here, Woodward. Kelleher now line astern. The number 10 and the number 1, and down the inside goes Kelleher, gets that move, hits that curb on the inside, super unsettles the car, has to concede the spot. Woodward holds on to it. Maximum there in third. We go on board with Daniel Kelleher. And again, pulling out of the slipstream, going for the move into turn 1. This is going to be a brave move now. Gets it done. Woodward gives the space. So Kelleher now leading the way. And this huge scrap here. So who have we got here? We've got Kelleher, we've got Maximum, we've got Khan, Woodward, O'Shea, O'Grady, and Moore, currently 7th in this one. He'll be at the back of this group that you can see. Khan there in third on the outside in the pink now. He's got kind of the optimal line. Can come back in, and is he going to go for 2 for 1? He is indeed. Look at that. Zane Khan, well timed and well positioned. That just shows the racing line that you can get as Kelleher runs wide there, comes back onto the circuit, and oh dear me, oh, into the hairpin. Oh, and it's all going to go wrong. And Kelleher's gone backwards, and I think Rory Smith went backwards as well. Alex O'Grady went backwards and is tumbling down the order. Oh dear me, that's not gone too well there. But 7.5 minutes to go, and it didn't look like we were going to see an incident like that happen, but we did. And again, understandable place. It is a very technical part of the circuit there where that happened, and unfortunately, just as you go in, they had the left-hander there, and they just came whizzing back onto the circuit, unfortunately, into the oncoming path of many other drivers. This is the battle for second place on your screen then. Rory O'Shea leading that group for second place. Zane Khan's leading the race itself. He's cleared by 0.8 of a second, sort of a repeat of what we saw Daniel Amor do in the Heat 1. But actually, it looks like Zane Khan potentially with an issue there. He's run wide. And he has, yeah, he has gone wide, so he's now lost first place. Rory O'Shea now leads, so Zane Khan all on his own with a mistake. I believe that was the turn 4 hairpin that happened. Now is in second place with Daniel Amor right behind. So again, we're going to see a battle between these two drivers. Who is going to come out on top this time around? Because Rory O'Shea leading the way, looking comfortable for the time being. But Heat 1's race winner is probably got lots to say about this one. Again, just staying absolutely line astern. Daniel doing an absolutely fantastic job here. We go on board with Emil there as we go through turn 1 again. Tiny, tiny movements with the wheel, just like it is in real karting. You see the cut; they barely touch the steering wheel. A fantastic example of that is probably turns 1 and 2 at PFI in the UK. An incredibly fast section of track, borderline flat out in perfect conditions. And again, you see drivers go through there, barely touching the steering wheel, barely moving it. Again, it's such a fine art is driving a car fast, and it is such a difficult thing to do, and to replicate that on the esports side of things is an incredible achievement, and these drivers really showing that in these top 3. Absolutely fantastic racing from them so far. O'Shea still comfortably leading though. Here's a little further back. Ronnie Smith runs a little bit wide out of the corner and slots back onto the circuit. Pal Freeman and Vishal having a close battle as well. Hibbs getting involved with the fray. Woodward's dropped, or Woodward's come up now. Pal Freeman down to 8th. Woodward in the number 10's dropped, come up into P7 now. Vishal holding on to 6th place. And Newman Racing, do you have to register on the website? Yes, you do indeed. So head over to their website. You can register for the final 2 rounds, Wackersdorf and Alahama. Wackersdorf round July 21st, Alahama August 18th for the final round of the championship. O'Shea still leading the way by 0.3 of a second from Zane Khan. Amor still there. This is your race lead. Looking like they're actually coming up to lap some drivers at the moment. Probably Nathan Maximum and Henry Foote. So drivers are going to have to really watch out for this one as they go through side by side there, just behind Khan and Amor. And Amor looks like he's done it. He has indeed. So Daniel Amor moves himself up into second place. Zane Khan, now we go on board. Bump drafting all the way up the start-finish straight. Not looking for the move here at turn number 1. Of course, he's got to be careful. Of course, if he does just go straight for the move, it is very easy to lose time on the race leaders. And for the time being, holding on to it now, staying behind, not going for any moves. Just watching very closely the racing lines again, just hugging it nice and tight to the apex as they start sector 2 into the hairpin now. Again, opens out on the exit, then coming into the right-hander now. Small straight coming up. This is coming up into the double apexes now, or the triple apexes I should say. Slightly missed the last one there, but we're not gonna fault them on that one. This is absolutely fantastic stuff from these two. Now back on board down the main straight. Again, not going for that move again, just trying to work together. What's the gap? The gap has increased, so despite the fact that they're not battling each other, they're not gaining on Rory O'Shea, who's leading this race. Again, showing great performance with a bit of clean air, but they have got back markers coming up. Now, of course, blue flags are an option in this, so they will bring those back in, and they'll have to be careful to negotiate his way through those back markers, Rory O'Shea. So he's going to have to be very, very patient and hope that the drivers pay attention, and one already paying attention for the race leader, but not for second place. Oh, Henry Foote, all to the best of him. He gave the places up, but I think he just didn't know that second and third were going to come that quickly, and came right back into the path of Daniel Amor. But luckily, no positions gained or lost. They hold on to them both. So great stuff then from second and third. A little look further down the order then as we go on to the final minute, and probably maybe the final lap. I mean, it was very, very close, so we could cross the line with about 1 second to go, or we could see checkered flag. I do dislike these sort of race endings where you don't know if they're actually going to finish or not. But like we say, O'Shea's leading the way from Amor Khan, still there in third place. Kelleher is now in fourth. Ronnie Smith in fifth place from Alex O'Grady. Ty Cuthbert in seventh place. Stratton Hibbs rounding out the top 8. Josh Powell-Freeman and Ian Williams rounding out the top 10. Louis Barker in 11th place from Theo Lestrange. Flynn McClumpher, Dalton Haywood, Nathan Maximum, Henry Foote and Luke Woodward rounding out the 17 drivers, but it looks like a retirement from Woodward as well. I believe we lost David Vishaw as well from this race. So final 20 seconds of heat number 2. Caden McQueen joins us on the live chat. Oh, hi Anthony. Oh, hi Caden. At least he hasn't got a bottle of water that he can throw at me while I'm dressed as a chili. If you're wondering why I said that, just head to the alphalive YouTube channel. Again, you can check out the paddock show from Lark Hall on there. You'll find out all about that. Timer strikes 0 now. Does the checker flag go out? It does go out. Oh, as he crosses the line, O'Shea will take the race win from Amor Khan, crossing the line to take the fastest lap of the race. And I have to say, Daniel Amor and Zane Khan both with identical times, a 1:13.340 as they cross the line. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Daniel Kelleher will take fourth place from Alex O'Grady, Ronnie Smith, Ty Cuthbert, Stratton Hibbs, Josh Powell-Freeman, Ian Williams, Louis Barker, Flynn McClumpher, Theo Lestrange, Nathan Maximum, Dalton Haywood, and Henry Foote, rounding out the 16 cuts that finished the race. Luke Woodward, a retirement, and I believe we lost David Vishaw from that race as well. Well, again, another, I think, fabulous, clean race that we saw there. No real carnage that we saw at the start. A little bit of a bumping here and there, but again, to be expected. We see that in real kart racing as well. So nothing for that. Well, we're going to take a small ad break, ladies and gents. We'll be back in just a moment's time. The final is coming up next.
make sure to follow Tillotson on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube and TikTok. The T4 Esports series first premiered last year in the weeks leading up to the World Cup, after more than 2 years being developed by Tillotson crew in cooperation with KartSim. The idea for a virtual T4 kart and later the T4 Esports series came from a desire to give existing T4 drivers a platform to practice on away from the track, to give those unable to race in real life the chance to do so virtually, and to give sim racers the chance to test their virtual skills in real life karting. It's for this reason that Tillotson are offering 2 tickets to compete in this year's Nations Cup, valued at €2,500 each. Tillotson's ethos of making T4s accessible to anyone can be seen in the real-life T4 package, which has been made as accessible as possible, making almost everything in-house. It's this fact that means that the T4 package is not just financially affordable, but accessible to those just starting out in karting who aren't as familiar maybe with how to run a kart as more experienced racers. This, as well as tightly regulating how the kart can be set up, means that Tillotson has been able to offer the close racing that the T4s provide at an extremely reasonable price. This accessibility is what has led to the T4 series becoming a go-to series for both novices and experienced racers in more than 25 regions worldwide. Let's take a look at those prices. Starting is always the most expensive part of racing, however Tillotson have made every effort to make taking up T4 racing as affordable as possible. It's important to remember that the equipment required for starting can be used for multiple years, or if money requires it, can be bought second-hand. In the case of minis, the cart and trolley can be found being sold second-hand as drivers graduate up into the junior category. The nature of the series also means that second-hand equipment depreciates in performance and value very little, meaning a kart can still be capable of being fast and winning races, even if it's not new. To buy everything new, however, will come with an initial cost of roughly €4,720 for minis and around €5,500 for juniors and seniors, including VAT. The cost of running a T4 kart over a season is also remarkably low. In a sport where the cost of running a kart can run into 5 or 6 figures per season at national and international levels, Tillotson have estimated a T4 junior or senior kart can be run for just over €4,000 per season. This includes entry fees, which may vary between regions, and a €1,000 damage allowance. So, if you're a careful driver and treat the kart well, this total could be significantly lower. With the T4 series expanding constantly, it's only a matter of time before there's one where you are. Until then, why don't you jump on KartSim and practice in our virtual T4s while you wait?
Welcome back, ladies and gents. Heat 2 has finished. The final is upon us. Mark French rejoins us in the commentary box. Mark, again, a fantastic heat number 2 that we just saw there. Plenty of action that we're going to see coming up in the final. But I just want to take us back a little bit more to the Nations Cup and more to the prize that these drivers are racing for as well, because there is lots that these drivers are going to get. An entry into the final as well, and a bit of the VIP treatment as well.
Yeah, that's it exactly. Just before we leave Heat 2, I want to congratulate my fellow, not just countryman, but Rory O'Shea is actually from very close to where I live at home. So nice to see him taking the win in Heat 2. But yet, prizes T4 Esports. Basically, the whole concept of T4 Esports was to give drivers a training aid and something where they can practice for real world events. And obviously, following on from that, we want to take the drivers from the esports platform into real world T4 Esports events, and the T4 Nations Cup being our pinnacle of those events. So this year, we've offered 2 separate prizes for one junior driver and one senior driver that qualify for the conditions within the age categories. Obviously, those conditions, one of them being that the junior is 12 to 16 years of age and the senior is going to be 15 years plus. And the second condition is that they will have a qualifying or a suitable license issued from FIA ASN to race in that category, which is basically your standard national karting license. So 2 lucky winners are going to come to join up with the Team Tillotson in Valencia this year, and as you said, get some of the VIP treatment and take part in the event from Thursday on track. So we really look forward to those drivers taking part in the event.
Yeah, it is a fantastic prize and a fantastic opportunity for these drivers, because some of these drivers may not have raced karts in real life, but, are getting those national licenses. A lot of the drivers who are racing this have raced in championships, of course, whether it be club racing or actual European championships themselves. But we've got a great pool of drivers here this evening, and we've had a great pool of drivers throughout the entire championship as well. But again, just seeing that, I think that prize has really tempted drivers to come into this one. Drivers can still enter into the championship, of course, but there is only 2 rounds to go, and we count the top 3 best scoring rounds that go for it. So if you do join for the next 2 ones, it might be a little bit tricky to win the championship. But Mark, you would recommend anyone to join into this, wouldn't you?
This is our T4 Esports program is not just about this year either. It's here to stay. We're doing lots of exciting new projects as well. Where at the moment, I mentioned Kiltorkin Raceway, which is one of our dealers in Ireland, where we have a very strong T4 series region. They've actually installed a sim room, and they intend to do a program before the T4 Nations Cup this year, where a lot of the Irish drivers who race T4 series in real world will practice on the simulator for the T4 Nations Cup, as Valencia is one of the tracks available on the kart sim game. So yeah, and there's going to be lots more T4 Esports series, lots more prizes, and I think we're hoping to branch out soon to offer our events in different time zones also.
No, brilliant. That sounds quite good, actually. I might have to pop down and show my stuff on a sim. I haven't been on a race.
Stay up very late one of the nights.
I've not been on a racing sim in such a long time, but I felt like I was pretty good at it back in the day. I've done a thing or two, but never in a kart on a kart sim. I think that's a different kettle of fish. I think I tried a kart once and I was absolutely terrible at it. So just again, it is a show of strength to the drivers, the skill that they've got out there. But I think I'm much quicker in a real kart than I am in an esports kart.
But there's no harm in trying. We've arranged a simulator if you've got the.
There we go. If we've got the time, we'll do it. But I think, Mark, when you came to Wilton Mill, and I did have a go in the Tillotson T4 car, I have to say I absolutely loved the experience and the opportunity to do that. Now, we did a lap around on the real track, and we also did a lap on an esports version. And I have to say, the times were pretty similar out there. I have to say, you've really done a great job in replicating the real World Cup with the esports version, with, of course, the help from KartSim.
Yeah, well, I think that was our main goal starting out, and Wilton Mill would have been one of the main tracks that we probably gathered quite a bit of data and used that information to create the calibration, or to calibrate the 3D model. And I think the Wilton Mill lap time from the simulator to real world is 3.5 a tenth, which it is very comparable. And I've done a very similar exercise myself recently back when I was in Ireland on a simulator. I've done thousands of laps of the Valencia circuit. And quite recently I was down in Valencia driving the track, doing some preparation for it. It's such a good training aid to do those laps on the simulator, to then take that what you've learned into the real world and put it into practice. And I think that's a big part of our project, to help drivers have that resource.
So you've done lots of laps at Valencia on the sim. You've done lots of laps of Valencia in real life. Are you trying to hint at us that you're racing in the Nations Cup this year?
I would love to be racing in the Nations Cup this year. And I look at everything that's happening with T4 Esports and T4 Series, and I look at all the kids that are taking part. And even tonight, looking at the names, I see 3-4 different drivers here in T4 Esports that I regularly meet, whether it's in Ireland or the UK. And it's that's our aim over the coming years, where we can grow T4 Esports, and we have our T4 driver regions globally coming here and taking part in the series. And yeah, I wish I was about 25 years.
Yeah. Exactly. And when you say globally, of course, you do quite literally mean it. You've got Tillotson, the Tillotson brand has gone worldwide from it being developed and brought up in Ireland, for it to be worldwide now is absolutely fantastic, with nations from all over the place, all coming together to race in the Nations Cup. It is absolutely fantastic. And like I say, the first time that it's come outside of Ireland, racing at Valencia. Why Valencia as well? There are lots of kart circuits all over Europe. Why specifically Valencia? Was it just because that one was the only one that we could go to?
No, I think there was a lot of interest from new partners. Spain being such a large market for four-stroke karting as well. And obviously, I haven't mentioned for our T4 Nations Cup this year, we've partnered with the RGMMC, and the RGMMC, they don't need any introduction because, as everyone knows, they run the CIK FIA karting championships, and they also run lots of other high-level events and have run many other international finals in the past. So I think they're actually based in Spain, so it made sense for a lot of reasons to partner with Valencia Track. And also, we have a lot of South American and a lot of global T4 drivers that maybe Spain is one of the easier European countries for them to visit. And of course, last but not least, there's a lot of sunshine.
I think sunshine's the main one, isn't it? You just thought, yeah, we want somewhere that's got sun. We want somewhere that's going to be nice and warm. We can all work on our tans, and yeah, we can go back happy after a little holiday away in Spain. But yeah, like you say, the Valencia circuit is an absolutely fantastic circuit. It has hosted a great deal of international karting events there, and I think it's going to be a real treat and a real challenge for some of the drivers who have probably not raced even out over in Europe yet.
It certainly will be. Valencia circuit, I've drove it in some other categories myself, and it will be one of my favorite circuits. And it's just a really good test of material and driver skill. It's got some very fast points in the track, and it's also got some very technical points. I'm really looking forward to seeing the racing in Valencia, because I think our T4 series categories and our products will actually perform really well and create some very interesting and close racing at the event. So yeah, Valencia, there's a lot of reasons. Obviously, Valencia as well being a very nice city, and it's got some extremely nice tourist options as well for family. And we really wanted to create for T4 Nations Cup, not just about the drivers of the event, but something that we can make it into a family event where people can maybe, double up taking a family holiday with taking in the event as well.
Yeah, that's a great way of putting it, I think, because karting in itself, a lot of people, I think, do forget that it is, you are a big family. The paddock itself, everyone knows everyone, and it's always one of those situations where if you need anything, you can just go and ask someone, and that's the situation it is, I guess, in the Tillotson paddock as well. It is, everyone is a huge, big family. It's a friendly atmosphere. You've got to race fierce as well, but you've got to race fair, and I think that's where it all comes together in one big, glorious little bundle of racing, doesn't it? So a great thing
Absolutely.
for drivers to be a part of. Now, of course, we were talking a little bit more about those new classes that we had out there. Now, there's one that I'm intrigued of, and I'm just going to quickly remember it in my own head. It is the team endurance event, of course. Now, that's a brand new concept as well, isn't it? Because tell us a little bit more about that one, Mark.
So the team endurance event, basically, we haven't actually opened the entry yet. We opened the entry today for all of the T4 our primary categories. But the T4 endurance event is a new venture for Tillotson. Not many people know, but Tillotson, we actually won the tender to supply for the FIA Motorsport Games, which is on at the end of October, Paul Ricard circuit in France. We won the tender to supply the rental karting service. So that's a 6-hour endurance team event where federations global will send teams, I think it's teams of 3 or 4 drivers to compete in the FIA Motorsport Games. So it made sense for us to have a similar endurance event at our T4 Nations Cup. We've obviously ventured into the rental kart market, and it made sense for us this year to offer the team event. I think there's been a lot of interest, and we received a lot of inquiries. There's the option to have up to 25 teams. The teams for our T4 event will be between 2 and 4 drivers. So you have a choice whether to have 2, 3 or 4 drivers. There'll be a specified amount of pit stops that you must do, and it's a 3-hour endurance race. 30-minute practice, 3-hour endurance race. Again, it's going to be run by the RGMMC. It's going to be televised. There's 20 cameras live on track. And I think the endurance event for our T4 Nations Cup is something that we wanted to utilize, where we could make it into more of a fun event, and we intend to have a barbecue and a kind of a track party, and let everyone, as you said, like have some fun together and meet each other. And it's not just all about the intensity of the racing on the track. As I said, we have a lot of interest already, so it's something that we're really looking forward to. It's a new venture for us, and I expect that it will go well.
Good. I expect to get my invite in the post. We've been talking for a while now, but the final is upon us, ladies and gents. Final is about to hit the screens. Yes, indeed. Huge thank you to Mark French there, joining us on the live stream again, giving us a great insight to what is coming up for some of these drivers out there. Well, ladies and gentlemen, final time is upon us. What are we going to see from this one? Of course, a little bit longer in terms of race time in this one. This is where we'll get our top 3. Points out there, Daniel Moore and O'Shea will start on the front row with Zane Khan and Ronnie Smith on the second. Lights go out, and we're off and racing. Good start from the third row. That looks like Alex O'Grady with a great start, jumping out and gaining position straight away. But Daniel Moore gets away well. Down in towards turn number 2. And everyone going to watch that inside. Be aware of where your surroundings are. Again, through turn 3, absolutely fine. In towards hairpin 1, a bit of podding to be expected. Again, it's the first major braking zone. And first major tight corner out there. 3 wide, a little further down the order. This is 10th and 11th onwards. And more leads from O'Shea. Kelleher there in 3rd. Khan still holding on to 4th from O'Grady. Maximum in 6th place. And again, side-by-side drivers got to be very, very careful here. You can defend, but you've got to be careful because you can easily get those wheels hooked on each other as they go through. But Barker holding on to this lead of this group from 9th onwards. Woodward's just behind from Pal Freeman, Williams. Lestrange there in 13th from Cuthbert, Hibbs and Foote. We end lap 1. Much cleaner start then from this race. More leads, only just though. We go on board with O'Shea. Mark French saying the local Irishman taking the win in heat number 2. Mark was very happy with that one, as he said. No bias there whatsoever, Mark. No, we will. We won't worry about that. So timer now strikes to 10 minutes. Of course, these finals 12 minutes in length, so a little bit longer. Basically, borderline an extra lap, really, or potentially an extra 1 or 2 laps. So drivers will have to be careful. You keep your comments coming in on the YouTube chat. I do have them in there. I can see Wayne R10 has been naughty. He's had his messages deleted, so I'm not sure what he put, but there you go. Wayne R10 has been dismantled and put back in the box. And I won't release him again. There we go. 9.5 minutes to go then. Train starting to form. Moore and O'Shea, 1st and 2nd. This is the battle for 4th place. 3rd place, Kelleher there. It's got a little bit of an advantage. Not much. Well, he's got no advantage now. It is a group. This is battle for 2nd place now. Let's say Teller Lights, battle for 3rd place. Down the inside there goes McClumpher on. And O'Grady gets past McClumpher, so O'Grady now up into P6. Around they go. Nice camera angle that. You can really see the racing well. As they come down into the midsection of the track. Nice and clean. I think they got a good telling off in that last one. On board here with Maximum. Currently in P5, looking to get P4. Khan just ahead. And we know Khan is quick around this track, so you know he's got the good racing lines. Khan struggled out of that corner there. Back onto the start-finish line now. Are we going to see anyone pull out of the slipstream? Are we going to see anyone go defensive into towards turn 1? Not this time. Like Khan wanted to go for the move there. Thought against it, slotted behind. And now, looking down, Maximum on Khan. Go on board with Maximum. And again, just hasn't got the waft out of the corner. Has to concede. Slots back into place. Has another look down the inside again. Can't quite do it. Now has O'Grady. all over the back. That number 28, P6. To watch out for that one. All the meanwhile, Amor and O'Shea have broken away from the main pack. 1.7 seconds clear from this group. Daniel Kelleher is doing a fantastic job at the moment in P3. Holding on, this is the battle for the race lead. These two absolutely line astern. No drama so far, which is good to see. 7 minutes to go on board with Rory O'Shea down the main straight. Let's see what the slipstream can do, and you can really see there, it's really working well. Closes that gap up tremendously, but unfortunately caught up to the back of Amor at the wrong spot and couldn't continue that momentum into the braking zone of turn 2. So I had to just lift off the accelerator there and stay behind. But that was a great shot there that really shows you the slipstream that these karts can get down the main straight. And that scrap still kicking off in the background. 4 karts there, line astern. For third place, Kelleher, Khan, Maximum and O'Grady. Oh, there as Khan goes down the inside. Oh, and no, round goes Kelleher. And that's a disaster, and I'm not sure what happened there from that camera angle. We couldn't see what happened there. But round goes Daniel, and Daniel falls down the order now. He will not be a fan of that one. So Khan now into 4th place. Maximum now takes 3rd. I say that, Maximum now out wide, and Alex O'Grady's going to come through, and he's going to take P3 now as they come across the line. So again, it just shows it's so easy to lose your track position, lose momentum, and you're just going to get absolutely freight trained out the way. All the meanwhile, your 2 race leaders have cleared away now. 2.7 seconds is the gap from these 2, and they're still line astern as well. They're just working together. They're in the lull at the moment. They'll start scrapping probably in the last 2 or so laps. So for the meanwhile, we'll stay with this group of 3 for 3rd place. O'Grady leading it from Khan and Maximum. Again, these are familiar names that we've been speaking about all evening, showing that they've really practiced around this track. Again, drivers are able to practice as much as they like at home around the track, but the official servers only open up during the week. They opened up on Tuesday of this week. Drivers for hot lap qualifying. Back with your race leaders, and this is the closest O'Shea's been on the start-finish line, unfortunately. Is not going to go for the move, is going to stay behind. Is he going to pull out this time in towards turn number 2? No, he's going to stay behind. And that's smart driving there from O'Shea. There's still 4 minutes to go. He's not going to go for the move just yet. You've got a big enough gap, but we've seen it in real-world karting. We see it in esports karting. 2.5 seconds is a big gap to race in, but you can lose that so quickly by just trying to do an overtake in one corner. These drivers are being incredibly smart right now. Alex O'Grady, though, he's still leading that trio of karts just behind. A little look further behind as well. Flynn McClumpher's leading the rest of the grid, 6th place down from Ronnie Smith. Kelleher has managed to rejoin 8th place for the time being. Ty Cuthbert are in 9th. Josh Powell-Freeman rounding out the top 10. Theo Lestrange in 11th place so far. Luke Woodward, much better performance from Luke. He's had a couple of retirements in these heats, so good to see him up in P12. Ian Williams there in 13th, Stratton Hibbs in 14th, Henry Foote in 15th. We have lost Louis Barker, which is a shame. On board with 5th place Nathan Maximum as he looked to go down the inside of Zane Khan there in towards turn 1. Again, a bold move. It has been done, but you've got to have commitment from both drivers to make sure that that move is done cleanly, and if it's in real life, safely. So they go into the braking zone there for the hairpin. Again, much better exit there for Khan, who holds on to that one. Maximum around the outside. Tries to get the move done. Can't quite do so again. slots back into position. The long left-hander there into the short right-hander. Into the hairpin left here. Down the inside goes Khan. What a lunge there. And O'Grady losing 2 positions there. Completely left the door open. And allowed those 2 to go down the inside. The gap now 3.9 seconds to the leaders in front, Amor and O'Shea. And wow, back down the inside. There goes Maximum. And Khan still holds on to it. No, so Khan tried to go for the move. Couldn't quite do it. Maximum holds on to P3. O'Grady now back up into 4th. And now it's heating up for the race lead. O'Shea takes the lead, holds on to it. And Amor now down into 2nd place. So Nathan Maximum actually with the fastest lap of the race, 1:13.7. But the battle now heating up a little bit wide there from Amor. Slots back into place. Tucked him right behind. He's not allowed O'Shea to break away. Jean-Marc French will be enjoying this one. They come into the mid-pack section now. We're halfway through Sector 2 into the hairpin. Again, opens out on exit. You can gain the momentum. You can get back on the throttle early. Bring it back over to the left-hand side for the right-hander here. Back down the back straight. In towards the triple apex. There's the first. There's the second. And there's the third. Bring it back round to the right-hand side. Sharp left-hander here. Into the very sharp right-hander. Again, avoiding that inside curb. Now it opens out onto the start-finish line. Watch that slipstream as we go on board with Amor. There's 50 seconds left on the timer. This will be the last lap. Daniel Amor is going to have to go for a move this lap around. Otherwise, it's only going to be P2 for him. O'Shea goes defensive, cuts back in. And again, Amor can't go for the move there. Has to stay behind. Smart driving, too far behind. Doesn't want to end up with a penalty here, does Daniel. Stays there in P2, but now has really closed up onto the back of O'Shea. We see a lot of move coming into the infield hairpin, so this is the left-hander, the long left-hander that keeps on going. There's Khan still defending from Alex O'Grady, who's just put it back up into P3 now as well. And again, look at that. O'Shea holding onto that inside line, but he's compromised his exit. He's compromised the exit. Amor will have a run on the outside. They're absolutely side by side, and look at that. O'Shea is giving the space, he's giving the racing room, but has got the inside line here. And again, Amor can't quite do it. He tucks it back down the inside. There's contact between the two of them. They've got to be careful. And again, Amor tried to get that move done, held back, didn't take the place because he knew it probably wasn't going to be on. But it's going to be a run to the line because remember, Amor will have the slipstream, but they've lost quite a bit of momentum. I don't think it's going to be enough. And the Irishman, Rory O'Shea, will take the checkered flag across the line from Daniel Amor. Again, an absolutely fantastic race from those two. Alex O'Grady will take P3. Nathan Maximum crosses the line to take P4 from Zane Khan. Flynn McClumpher will cross to take 6th place from Ronnie Smith. Daniel Kelleher, after his spin early in the race, is going to finish and cross the line in 8th place from Josh Balframe. And Ty Cuthbert rounds out the top 10 from Stratton Hips, Theo Lestrange, Ian Williams, Luke Woodward, Henry Foote, and Louis Barker of a retirement from the race. So, drivers, I think I nearly kicked the board there behind me, but it's fine. We're all good. Got too excited from that race. But what a race that was. An absolutely fantastic end. And I have to say, huge congratulations to Rory O'Shea, who managed to hold off Daniel Amor there. But Daniel really tried that move into the penultimate section, the final section of the track. Was the move on? May not have been, but he still went for that move. And that's what a racing driver will do. A racing driver will always go for a gap that is there. Even if it is slowly disappearing, they'll still go for it, whether or not they come out on top or not. But fantastic racing from them. And I'm sure they'll congratulate each other on the Discord chat a little bit later on as well. I can see already messages coming up on the Discord. If we've still got Mark, hopefully you can still hear us and you're still with us, and we can have a quick chat about that final, because again, what an amazing final that was, and we can round out a little bit about what happened there. Mark, you are still there. Good. You hadn't fallen asleep. Good. I wasn't making you fall asleep then, was I?
No, I've had my siesta this afternoon
good.
here, so no, I'm ready for the evening. I thoroughly enjoyed that race. It was a very mature drive from Rory O'Shea. You know, I appreciated the I think now with the point structure Esports Championship, drivers are starting to realize that it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. You know, you're counting your top 3 results. And we published the championship points before this round at the halfway point, and you can see that there's so many drivers still in with an opportunity to win those 2 prizes worth €2,500 each. And I think that's what's important. And as the series has went on, it seems like the front runners in particular, they're putting in more practice. Their driving standards are definitely improving at the front. They're not taking each other out, and they're treating the series more like a real world race, and that's really what we strive to create, and it's great to see it. I see Daniel Kelleher as well, who is our championship leader, was involved in a bit of a tussle there, and he went back to 8. But again, you count your top 3 results, so it's good to see everyone come back and fight it out at the next round again.
Yeah, Kelleher's really tried his hardest in all of the rounds that we've seen, and he has been at the sharp end as well, but he has shown some weak spots out there, some chinks in the armory, but he is coming back stronger, and he has taken part in every single round, and I'm pretty sure there's a bonus for racing in each round of the championship as well, isn't there?
Yeah, I think there was a bonus. We actually changed the regulations before round 1, where I think there is a bonus point for everyone that completes all the rounds, but there's no longer points for taking part in the practice server, because it was just too demanding for drivers to take part 2 days of a week. So we made the server on a Tuesday, the practice server optional. And as you know, we probably don't see the same number of drivers take part in the practice server as we do in the race.
Yep, indeed. Well, like you say, points means prizes, ladies and gents. So, taking part in each and every one of those, that extra point could mean a first place win or second place in the championship standing. So who knows? So it's always good to take part in all of them, isn't it? But, Mark, a huge thank you to yourself for joining me this evening. I know you've got a very busy schedule. Of course, you getting ready for the Nations Cup. Of course, with that one, you've been top and tail. You've been so busy. But thank you very much for taking time out for joining us this evening. And again, the next rounds are coming up.
Delighted to be here. Thank you.
No, you're welcome. Again, the next rounds are coming up very, very soon as well. 2 more rounds to go. July 21st, we'll be at Wackersdorf for round 5. August 18th, we'll be at Alahama for the final round at round 6. Like we say, 2 rounds to go. Plenty more points up for grabs and plenty more decent racing. But from us here this evening, it's goodbye for now.